So you're starting to settle into this new world. You're starting to settle into the COVID-19 isolation lifestyle. And things are starting to go well. You're forming habits. And maybe you're one of the lucky ones. You've managed to pick up a couple of pieces of equipment for your home gym. You've probably got a couple of dumbbells that were lying around already. Maybe you've picked up a kettlebell. If you're really lucky, a barbell, some plates, a pull-up bar, maybe even some rings. You've got everything you need. Your home gym is literally at your doorstep. And yet something still isn't right. You still may be not exercising as much as you would like to. Your motivation is down. You haven't quite got into this new exercise routine. You haven't quite been able to rebuild that exercise habit. And the big thing that's changed is your environment, everything around you. You no longer have a gym, a designated place that you can go to exercise. Instead, what you have is part gym, part home, part office, part movie theater, everything rolled into one. So how can we take this knowledge? How can we make some changes to mean that we can actually start to rebuild these good exercise habits? And the answer lies in your environment. It lies in what's around you. And we can actually make some little tweaks, some little changes to your environment to make you more likely to use your home gym. And the changes that we need to make should be changes that are going to make exercise as easy as possible, because we are naturally a pretty lazy sort of species. We try and find easy or efficient ways to do something. And if we want to do more of something, just like we want to do more exercise at the moment, we need to find easier ways to do that exercise. And the big environmental change we can make is to start to reduce some of the barriers to entry, start to take away some of the things that we need to do prior to being able to start each exercise session that we do for the day. So what can we do? What are some practical examples that we can do to tweak our environment a little bit, to take away some of the preparation we need, some of the hurdles we have to jump over, which are maybe going to make exercise less likely? Well, I've got 15 ideas for you. This isn't an exhaustive list, but these are just some things you can start to think about and then maybe put together some ideas of your own. The first environmental change tip is to keep your home gym clean. Now, this doesn't mean tidy, which I'll talk about in a moment, but keep it clean. If it's nice and clean, it's a happy environment to be in, and it's one less thing you need to do prior to starting your exercise. Our second tip is that while you do want to keep it clean, you don't necessarily want to keep your home gym tidy. And what I mean by that is you don't want to put away everything you've used after you've used it. This is a real advantage of exercising at home instead of the gym. You can leave your equipment out, which is a great idea because it means that next time when you go to exercise, you don't have to get things out, which is that further barrier to starting your exercise session. Our next tip is to follow a program. Another thing that we have to do, another step we have to take, another hurdle that we have to jump to starting our exercise is working out what we're actually going to do for the day. If you have a program to follow, you don't need to worry about this. It takes a step away and you can just do what's programmed for you. Which brings me to our next tip. When you have this program to follow, make sure you write up your session for the following day on a whiteboard or somewhere in your home gym. That way, it's already done. It's another step that we've taken away. And when you go to exercise for the following day, you can see what you're doing and you can get straight to work. Our next tip is to choose your location carefully. Now, maybe there's an obvious place for your home gym in the garage or on the balcony under the veranda, or maybe there's somewhere less obvious. Try and choose a location which is going to be as easy to get to as possible. If you've got it tucked away in the back corner of your block in an old shed with a big padlock on the door, there are a lot of steps that you need to take to try and get there. Make sure your gym is located in a location that's going to be easily accessible for you at all times. Our next tip is to leave your barbell loaded in the rack. So instead of putting your bar away, instead of putting your plates away at the end of your training, leave your bar out, leave the plates on there, and in a perfect world, leave enough weight on there that you'll be using in the warm-up for your next session. Again, when the next session comes along, you can simply step up to the bar and get started. Have your music ready. So choose a favorite playlist. Maybe spend a couple of hours creating and curating that perfect playlist. When it's time to go, you can just hit play. And of course, make sure you've got some great speakers or a sound system where you can just plug your phone in and you're ready to go. Pre-fill your water bottle and keep that water bottle in your home gym. It shouldn't travel around the house with you. It should stay there. That's where it lives. That way you always know when you go to start the exercise, you don't have to fill up your water bottle first, and again, you can get straight to work. Make any fixed equipment that you've got super accessible. So maybe you've got a pull-up bar or a set of rings that are set up high. Make sure that you've got a step or a box underneath them, so when you do want to get into that movement, you don't have to move things around to start the exercise. At the end of every session, you do have a nice clean gym towel. This should be left out, laid out on the floor in your garage or wherever your home gym happens to be. So again, when you are starting to exercise, when it's time to go, you can get straight down on that towel and get to work. And the same thing applies for a gym mat. If you're doing a lot of ground-based exercise, leave that mat out ready to use. Maybe you've got a fan or a heater in your home gym. Leave it plugged in and make sure that all you have to do is press that start button when you want to turn it on. And of course, you're probably going to want to film your workout on Instagram or social media somewhere. So have either a tripod or a phone cradle all set up. Of course, this also applies if you need to use your phone as some sort of interval timer or some sort of stopwatch. Have it there ready to go so you can turn up, put your phone where it needs to go and get to work. And don't forget the gym clothes effect. Now, this is actually supported by a lot of research, and it shows that when people in the olden days were going to the gym, if they had their gym clothes either laid out for them prior to going to bed the night before, or they actually went to bed wearing their gym clothes, they were 300% more likely to actually go to the gym the following day. So although this isn't a tip for your home gym per se, maybe it's a tip for in the bedroom. You can have your clothes laid out, ready to go. It's another barrier that we've removed to starting that exercise. And our final tip is to have some sort of greenery in your home gym. A lot of research again into the color green and the color blue in your exercise environment being linked to high levels of happiness, reduced levels of depression, changes in hormone levels, which are going to make you enjoy this experience more. So if you can have some of this outside nature that you bring inside your home gym, it's going to make that gym, that environment, a happier place to be, and you're more likely to keep coming back. So can you think of any others? Any other tips, any other little changes or tweaks that you can make to your home gym to make exercise a more enjoyable experience and an experience that you will keep going back to day after day after day? Because here, what we are trying to do is create an environment for you that makes it easier to train than it does not to train. And the great news here is all you need to do is make this change once. Make the changes and they will be there permanently and you can keep benefiting from them forever.